Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm your ringmaster, Sal, live from the AAMP.TV mobile studios here in fabulous Las Vegas. That's AAMP.TV. This segment brought to you in part by the American Business Trust Company, helping companies with strategy, sales and marketing, capital resources, and establishing companies with physical locations or on the internet. Visit them online for more information at abtrustco.com. That's ABTRUSTCO, abtrustco.com, or call 657-600-1876. That's the American Business Trust Company, 657-600-1876. Call them today for more information. And welcome back to everybody listening in on Magic 97.9 FM and those on our CBS, NBC, and Fox Sports affiliates from coast to coast, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Hotel Television, those watching us on TV in 650,000 rooms from coast to coast. Guess what? If you're in a room, chances are we're going to find you. Actually, you might even find us. All right, back here with 30-plus year NHL referee, that would be Paul Dvorsky. Welcome back, Paul. It's always great having you back on the show.
Thanks, guys.
All right. And also, we have star defenseman from the Charlotte Rush, and that would be Eric Pagorni. Welcome back, Eric.
Thank you.
All right. So, guys, we're talking about some of these proposed rule changes real quick, and I do want to make mention of a couple of more. And as far as tie-ups go, so, Eric, there's not going to be a lot of tie-ups on the ice. In other words, even the wingers, imagine this, on the face-off, even the wingers have to stay, apparently, as I've been reading, a couple of feet apart from one another. Now, when you're lining up, let's just say, because you played wing for a long time, right? Yeah. Imagine yourself trying to tie up your opponent, but you can't do that because you got to stay a couple of feet away. What is the advantage or disadvantage? What are we talking about here?
I mean, the disadvantage is that, the whole point of a face-off is to get possession of the puck, and if you can't even touch the guy next to you, there's going to be no battle. So you're basically saying that the center either has to win it clean or the center is just battle. So the wingers don't get to do anything anymore. And,
so what is, Eric, let me ask you, what's the winger's role? Now you were left wing?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's your job on a face-off? Let's just say it's at center ice. What is your job? Is your job to tie the other guy up to get position?
Yeah, it's to tie up, and then if your center needs help, you go help him out. But you always tie up first. Okay,
so if that's the case, now Devo, as a referee, if this is the rule, how do you enforce such a rule? Is it possible to enforce that rule?
Well, that's another, I haven't heard how this is coming about. So, yeah, it's going to be tough to enforce because, as soon as the guy ties it up, the guy's going to be nailed for interference or holding or whatever, So, we're going to have a parade of penalties going in the penalty box. So, I don't understand why, if we can't play hockey the way we played when we left in March, why are we going to resume if we can't play the way we've always played?
I don't know, but here's another thing, guys. Imagine this. You got the coaches on the bench yelling at the players for, hey, you got to get off the ice. You got line shifts coming, this and that. And so, Eric, imagine you're out there and you're on the far end away from your bench. And now if the coaches are wearing a mask, because they're talking about coaches to wear face masks on the bench, that's going to muffle them. And how the heck are you going to hear them in a rink?
You're not going to hear them. First of all, the stadium is so loud by itself with the fans cheering that it's hard for the players to even hear the whistle on the ice. So if they're going to think they're going to hear their coach with a mask on, it's not going to be possible. You're not going to know.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. So Paul, let me ask you, if they want to enforce this mask rule for coaches, right? And how many coaches do we have on the bench? We've got a couple, 3 on the bench, right? And how are we going to, or better yet, how are the players actually going to be able to hear? So you're going to see, I guess my guess is, you'll see a lot of too many men on the ice type of penalties. Is that fair to say?
If that's the way they're going, yeah, we're going to have all kinds of penalties for all different new rules. If the guys aren't abiding by it, there's going to be penalties, and we're going to have a parade to the penalty box. So it
just sounds like a big dumpster fire.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't heard any of these rules. I haven't heard anything about scrums or anything. I mean, I can't really. Where is that coming from?
This is coming out. This was I forget. It was an official source, and it dealt directly with the National Hockey League. So, buddy, I got to tell you, I don't know. I mean, I would imagine from a rule side, you would probably know a little bit more than I. But if I'm getting stuff like this, and this was what the NHL is putting out, maybe to the masses through a third party, I'm not sure. But these are, I don't know, this is what's circulating right now. I mean, let me ask you this. Paul, is there a season in our future, maybe starting in the next month or so? Because a lot of the states are opening up sports, which, you know, is great for the fans to watch. But what are we talking about here? Is the NHL going to finish the season?
You know what? I really can't answer that because I don't know the answer, but I know for a fact that Mr. Bettman wants to award the Stanley Cup, and I've heard of different hub cities, and I've heard about 12 teams going into a hub city, and where we have 24 teams. So, if I was a betting man, I would say if we do get going, it'll be somewhere around July, into July sometime.
Right. Yeah, that seems to make the most sense. I'm hearing the similar thing. Eric, as a hockey player, if you were basically given a chance to play 70 games in the season, and out of your 70 games in the season, you're like, hey, look, I'm in the NHL. I'm maybe a dozen games away from my team making the playoffs. How do you take a couple of month break, a 3 or 4 month break, and then jump right back in and create the intensity that you had before? How does that work?
I mean, it's definitely going to be a challenge. I mean, the only thing you can really do is work out at home. I mean, find something to do at home. I mean, I know that a lot of guys right now that are in the NHL, they're playing roller and they're just doing little things at home to keep their bodies in shape. But, without skating, you can't really do much.
Yeah, it's kind of like having reps. You got to you need some real time to play against and practice against other people. I can't even imagine how one could practice and actually have any effectiveness with their game. And let's say, even if you're given a couple of weeks or maybe even 3 weeks to get back into it, how long does it take you, Eric, to get ready for a season in the first place?
I would say about easily 3 or 4 months. Probably 4.
All right, so let's flip over to the referee side. Now, Paul, as you're skating around the ice, how long does it take the referees to actually get ready for a season?
Well, I know for a fact all the guys are working, they're either running or they all have bikes or elliptical machines in their own basement. So their cardio is, will be up to par. The only problem is they're going to need, like you said, a good 10 days of, getting on the ice every day to get their skating legs back. And, I think after 10 days, just like everybody else, we'll just kind of, come into it slowly, and then everything will peak, hopefully, when they give the cup out in December or whenever it is.
Right. And I guess the bigger question is, will they have the energy to actually hoist the cup in the first place? Yeah, I don't really know. All right, Eric, any final thoughts here? I know you have to get going. You have some yoga to do, don't you?
Yeah, I do. Try to keep in shape.
Right. I know the yoga is a big part of what you like to do every day. It's one of your favorite things. Yeah. So anyway, any final messages for the audience real quick?
I mean, just appreciate being on here. I mean, it was fun. Got to talk some hockey and some rolls. So, and I hope that I get to be on here sometime again. But, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Sure thing. We'll do that, and maybe we'll get a report over from Charlotte. So Eric is a star defenseman for the Charlotte Rush. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
And we'll catch up with you next time. And Paul Dvorsky, with all your time as a referee, is there any final message that you have for the people before you depart as well?
You know what? if this is going to happen, it's going to happen. And, you know, as long as everybody's, you know, at home and healthy and safe, I think this thing will get going down the road. And, you know, with a little luck, we should be skating, you know, hopefully in a month and a half, 2 months, you know. So, but in the meantime, everybody just, you know, do what we're told and what, you know, everything we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, whatever that means, and maybe someday we'll be able to find out the real truth about this alleged virus and so forth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. So.
Yeah, that's a whole nother discussion. I just, I kind of wish that the press would be a little bit more straight with us. I kind of wish some of the people in government would be more straight with us, because then we can kind of plan our lives. We'd like to go to hockey games. We'd like to go to baseball games and live our lives normally. Tell you what, Paul, always a pleasure having you on. Paul Dvorsky, thanks for joining us. 30-plus year referee, works in the war room in the National Hockey League up in Toronto. Thanks for joining us again, Paul. Appreciate it.
Okay, guys. Thank you, and take care.
All right, buddy. All right, we're going to be back here in a few minutes on the Sports Circus. Lots more to come. Don't go anywhere.